Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamati Nashtaprayeshu Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, today we are starting new chapter, chapter 19, performing the Punsavan ritualistic ceremony. Next one. Shri Raju Vacha Vratam Punsavanam Brahman Pavta Yad Udiritam Tasya Veditum Ichhami Yena Vishnu Prasidati. Maharaj Parikshit said, my dear Lord, you have already spoken about the Punsavan now. Now I want to hear about it in detail, for I understand that by observing this vow, one can please the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. So when Maharaj Parikshit heard that how Diti got purified, Indra got purified by serving Diti, who was following Punsavan Vrat, and the embryo was not killed by Indra, even with this thunderbolt, he could not kill them. They just became from 1 to 49 babies, and they were all golden. They all became demigods afterwards. So how powerful this Punsavan Vrat is. So Maharaj Parikshit definitely wanted to know, what is this? Shri Shukavacha Shuklo Marga Shire Pakshe Yoshid Bharturanugyaya Arabhet Vratam Idam Sarva Kamaditaha Nishamya Maratam Janma Brahmanan Anumantra Cha Snatva Shukladati Shuklo Vasitalankritambare Pujet Pratarashat Praga Bhagwantam Shriyasaha. So Shukdev Goswami said, on the first day of the bright fortnight of the month of Agrahayan, or November-December, following the instructions of her husband, a woman should begin this regulative devotion service with the vow of penance, for it can fulfill all one's desires. Before beginning the worship of Lord Vishnu, the woman should hear the story of how the Maruts were born. Under the instructions of qualified Brahmins, in the morning she should wash her teeth, bathe, and dress herself with white cloth and ornaments. And before taking breakfast, she should worship Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi. Alam te nirapekshaya purna kama namostute mahavibhuti patye namah sakal siddhaye. She should then pray to the Lord as follows. My dear Lord, you are full in all opulences, but I do not beg you for opulences. I simply offer my respectful obeisances unto you. You are the husband and master of Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, who has all opulences. Therefore, you are the master of all mystic yoga. I simply offer my obeisances unto you. A devotee knows how to appreciate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Manisha Mataji, please keep yourself mute. Because he is a complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Therefore, to take shelter of the Supreme Lord is required. Whatever a devotee needs will be supplied by the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, a pure devotee will not ask anything from the Lord. He simply offers the Lord his respectful obeisances, and the Lord is prepared to accept whatever the devotee can secure to worship him. Even patram pushpam, phalam toyam, leaf, a flower, a fruit, or some water. There is no need to artificially exert oneself. It is better to be plain and simple and with respectful obeisances offer to the Lord whatever one can secure. The Lord is completely able to bless the devotee with all opulences. So the devotee should not ask the Lord for any opulences. And this is what the shloka says. I don't want any opulences. You are full in opulences. You're the husband and master of Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune. Therefore, I just want to offer my obeisances to you. यथा त्वं कृपया भूत्या तेजसा महिमोजसा जुष्ट ईश गुणः सर्वैः ततो असि भगवान् प्रभुः. O my Lord, because you are endowed with causeless mercy, all opulences, all prowess, and all glories, strength and transcendental qualities, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of everyone. In this verse, the words Tato Asi Bhagwan Prabhu means, therefore, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of everyone. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is endowed with 6 opulences in full, and moreover, he is extremely kind to his devotees. Although he is full in himself, he nonetheless wants all the living entities to surrender unto him, so that they may engage in his service. Thus, he becomes satisfied. Although he is full in himself, he nonetheless becomes pleased when his devotee offers him patram pushpam phalam toyam. Prabhupada again repeats it: a leaf, flower, fruit, or water in devotion. So he doesn't need anything. He is full in all opulences. He has 6 opulences in full. So still he is kind to his devotees and he engages them in his service. Why? So that the devotees get purified. The devotees get the pleasure. And he is pleased even if the devotee offers what? A leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water. And none of these the devotee has to make, or whoever is making the offering. We don't make a leaf, everything is prepared by the nature. We just take it and offer it back to the Lord. Sometimes the Lord, as a child of Mother Yashoda, requests his devotee for some food, as if he were very hungry. So that is the beauty of the Lord. And this is what non-devotees cannot understand. What kind of Lord you have? He's like a baby, just like in the background. He's such a sweet little baby. And he asks for some food from his mother. And not just asks, sometimes he steals it also. So they cannot understand what kind of God he is. He's stealing butter. Sometimes he tells his devotee in a dream that his temple and his garden are now very old and that he cannot enjoy them very nicely. It has happened. Thus he requests the devotee to repair them. So we might think if the deity is in our house or in the temple and that their house or their altar is very nicely kept, so that is it. No, that is not it. The whole house belongs to him. Of course, the whole world, the whole universe belongs to him. But if he is in our house, means he is the boss of the house. He is our Thakurji. Thakurji means the Lord of the house. So if he doesn't like the garden and he wants it to be repaired because he must be going out there sometime, it's not like we have to see everything. He is doing his pastimes. We are just not pure enough, that's all. Sometimes he is buried in the earth and as if unable to come out himself. He requests his devotee to rescue him. So that happened in the case of Madhavendra Puri. He requested Madhavendra Puri to take him out. He said, I'm hidden in these bushes or underground for such a long time, and I'm feeling very hot. So please take me out and establish me, install me. Sometimes he requests his devotee to preach his glories all over the world, although he alone is quite competent. to perform this task. And Prabhupada is writing it, although he himself preached the glories of the Lord all over the world. Even though the Supreme Personality of Godhead is endowed with all possessions and is self-sufficient, he depends on his devotees. This is the sweetness of the Lord. Does he need us? No. Theoretically or tattva-wise, in truth, no. But as I said a few days back, there are different levels of truth. So in one sense, he doesn't need us. In one sense, he needs us. He needs his devotees. Of course, we are not devotees yet, but we are trying to serve him by serving Prabhupada. So to give him full pleasure, and he needs us, and not just us, all the conditioned souls. He wants them back. That is sweetness, actually. And Prabhupada says he alone is quite competent to perform this task of preaching his own glories all over the world. What's the big deal for him? But he asks his devotees. He depends on his devotees. Therefore, the relationship of the Lord with his devotees is extremely confidential. Only the devotee can perceive how the Lord, all the full in himself, depends on his devotee for some particular work. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord tells Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhavya sabyasachi. Arjuna, merely be an instrument in the fight. Lord Krishna had the competence to win the battle of Kurukshetra, but nonetheless induced his devotee Arjuna to fight and become the cause of victory. And not just he had the competence, obviously, he's the Supreme Lord. I mean, he won Sudarshan Chakra, he would have sent, and he would have killed everybody. And in fact, he showed when he was showing the universal form to Arjuna, that how everybody is going to get killed here in the battlefield. Nobody's going back except you 5 Pandavas. But he still wanted Arjuna to fight and take the credit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was quite competent enough to spread his name and mission all over the world. But he still depended upon his devotee to do this work. Considering all these points, the most important aspect of the Supreme Lord's self-sufficiency is that he depends on his devotees. He is self-sufficient, but he depends on his devotees. All these so-called contradictions exist in him. Why? Because he is the Supreme Lord. Everything has to come from him. Everything has to rest in him. That's why Brahma Samhita it is said, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Only when our eyes are smeared with the ointment of love, we can see him. Or we can serve him. Otherwise, no. The devotee who has perceived this causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by realization can understand the master and the servant. So by realization, not theoretically. Theoretically, we study, we hear about it, we sometimes appreciate it, but realization has to come. So then for that we have to practice. Vishnu Patni Mahamaya Mahapurush Lakshane Priyetha Me Mahabhage Lokam Atarnam Moastute. After profusely offering obeisances unto Lord Vishnu, the devotee should offer respectful obeisances unto Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and pray as follows. O wife of Lord Vishnu, internal energy of Lord Vishnu, you are as good as Lord Vishnu himself, for you have all his qualities and opulences. O goddess of fortune, please be kind to me. O mother of the entire world, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. The Lord has multifarious potencies. Parasya Shaktir Vivideva Suruyate. Since Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is the Lord's very precious potency, she is addressed here as Mahamaya. The word Maya means Shakti. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme, cannot exhibit his power everywhere without his principal energy. It is said Shakti Shaktiman Aveda. The power and the powerful are identical. Therefore, Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is a constant companion of Lord Vishnu. They remain together constantly. One cannot keep Lakshmi in one's house without Lord Vishnu. To think that one can do so is very dangerous. To keep Lakshmi or the riches of the Lord without the service of the Lord is always dangerous, for then Lakshmi becomes illusory energy. So from Mahamaya, from Yogamaya, she becomes Mahamaya. With Lord Vishnu, however, Lakshmi is the spiritual energy. So we want the spiritual Lakshmi, Yogamaya, not Mahamaya. Ravan wanted to enjoy Lakshmi without serving Ram. He wanted to enjoy Sita without serving Ram. The result being the whole dynasty was vanquished. And he could not enjoy Sita either. So it was a lose-lose situation for him. So this is a perfect process to have Lord Vishnu, and along with Lord Vishnu comes Mother Lakshmi, so serve Lakshmi that way. Text 7. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahanubhavaya Mahavibhuti Patte Saha Mahavibhuti Bir Balim Upaharam Iti Anenahara Mantarena Vishnu Ravan Ardhya Padyos Padyopasparshanan Snan Uvas Upavita Vibhushana Gandha Pushpa Dhupa Deep Upahara Dipacharan Susamahito Pahare. My Lord Vishnu, full in six opulences, you're the best of all enjoyers and the most powerful. O husband of Mother Lakshmi, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are accompanied by many associates such as Vishwaksena. I offer all the paraphernalia for worshipping you. One should chant this mantra every day with great attention while worshipping Lord Vishnu with all paraphernalia, such as water for washing his feet, hands, and mouth, and water for his bath. One must offer him various presentations for his worship, such as garments, a sacred thread, ornaments, scents, flowers, incense, and lamps. So there are different upachar. Upachar means presentations by which we do the arti of the Lord, we worship the Lord. This mantra is very important. Anyone engaged in deity worship should chant this mantra, as quoted above, beginning with Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya. Of course, it's a long mantra, but one can memorize it. Havishesham cha juya danale dvadashahuti. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahavibhuti Pate Swahiti. Shukdev Goswami continued, after worshipping the Lord with all the paraphernalia mentioned above, one should chant the following mantra while offering 12 oblations of ghee on the sacred fire. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahavibhuti Pate Swaha. So many times people ask, what is important, being spiritual or following the rituals? Well, actually, both go hand in hand. Here, Shukdev Goswami is explaining how one should perform the rituals. Aarti is a ritual. But ritual or the practices without spirituality. Spirituality means both knowledge and doing our chanting, meditation, other aspects. So they both go hand in hand, because when somebody is spiritual, he performs these rituals properly with love. And the rituals are important because this is how we interact with the Lord, how we serve the Lord. So only rituals, yes, they will have an effect, definitely. Only spiritual, yes, but then it remains theoretical. This is practical. So people, when they see only rituals, because they don't see the spiritual aspect of a devotee, so they cannot understand, they don't realize that this is the whole package, actually. So for those who are going to criticize, they're going to criticize anyway. You cannot do anything. Shriyam Vishnum cha Varada Vashisham Prabhava Bhubhav Bhaktya Sampujye Nityam Yadi Echat Sarva Sampadaha. If one desires all opulences, his duty is to daily worship Lord Vishnu with his wife Lakshmi. With great devotion, one should worship him according to the above mentioned process. Lord Vishnu and the goddess of fortune are an immensely powerful combination. They are the bestowers of all benedictions and the sources of all good fortune. Therefore, the duty of everyone is to worship Lakshmi Narayan. Lakshmi Narayan, Lord Vishnu, and Mother Lakshmi are always situated in everyone's heart. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hriddeshe Arjun Tishtati. However, because non-devotees do not realize that Lord Vishnu stays with his eternal consort, Lakshmi, within the hearts of all living entities, they are not endowed with the opulence of Lord Vishnu. So, in the heart, as Paramatma, when Paramatma, Lord Vishnu is there, Lakshmi ji has to be there. It's simple. But we don't picturize that way, we don't understand it that way. So that's where we make the mistake. And that's why Prabhupada said they're not endowed with the opulence of Lord Vishnu. Unscrupulous men sometimes address a poor man as Daridra Narayan or Poor Narayan. This is most unscientific. Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi are always situated in everyone's heart, but this does not mean that everyone is Narayan, especially not those in poverty. This is most abominable term to use in connection with Narayan. Narayan never becomes poor, and therefore he can never be called Daridra Narayan. Narayan is certainly situated in everyone's heart, but he is neither poor nor rich. Only unscrupulous persons who do not know the opulence of Narayan try to afflict him with poverty. So he is neither poor nor rich, means not materially rich. Yes, Mother Lakshmi is his servant, his wife. Just like Lord Shiva, his wife is Durgaji or Parvati. We all worship Durga to get some money, and she is his wife. Although he doesn't live in a palace, he just lives in the crematorium or under a tree, that's his liking. But he's not poor. No way. Praname dandavat bhumau bhakti prahavnen chetasa dashvaram japen mantram tata stotram udirayet. One should offer obeisances unto the Lord with the mind humbled through devotion. While offering dandavas by falling on the ground like a rod, one should chant the above mantra 10 times. Then one should chant the following prayer. Yuvam tu vishvasya vibhu jagatah karanam param iyam hi prakriti sukshma maya shaktir duratyaya. My dear Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, you're the proprietors of the entire creation. Indeed, you're the cause of the creation. Mother Lakshmi is extremely difficult to understand because she's so powerful that the jurisdiction of her power is difficult to overcome. Mother Lakshmi is represented in the material world as external energy, but actually she is always the internal energy or Yog Maya of the Lord, Maya Shakti. So they are the proprietors of the entire creation and the cause as well. But it's so difficult to understand. Tasyadhishvara sakshat tvam eva purusha para tvam sarva yajna ijjayam kriyayam phal bhava. My Lord, you are the master of energy. My Lord, you're the master of energy, and therefore you're the supreme person. Your sacrifice, yajna personified. Lakshmi, the embodiment of spiritual activities, is the original form of worship offered unto you, whereas you're the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So different titles for the Lord. You're the enjoyer of the sacrifices. You're the supreme person. You're sacrifice personified. Lakshmi is in the original form of worship offered unto you. So different qualities or characteristics of the Lord, as mentioned here, to glorify Him. So ultimately, Punsvan Vrata was to glorify the Lord, to praise the Lord, to serve the Lord. It was nothing but devotional service. We are in Kali Yuga, we are so dull. We could not even remember or chant all these mantras. That's why Mahaprabhu gave us very simple. Just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. And what kind of austerities? Just follow the 4 principles. And chant minimum 16 rounds. That's very easy actually. Very, very easy. So if you just follow that, it will fulfill all our desires and make us more and more devoted, more and more surrendered, more and more qualified, purified to go back to the spiritual world. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.